Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. It's just time for another What's Been Spinning video. This is where I just kind of share the stuff that I've been spinning since the last What's Been Spinning video. As always, I like to mention at the beginning of these are all the albums that I actually kind of set back and listen to from start to finish, all the way through. As a lot of times with my listening, I kind of bounce around from song to song and that type of thing, just kind of listening to what I want to listen to in the moment. But these are the albums I actually set back and took in from start to finish. So let's just kind of dive right into it. We'll start off here with actually a couple of cassettes. And one we'll start off here is Dan Hartman. You guys remember him from the 80s. He had that big hit, I Can Dream About You, which is a fantastic song. It was featured in the movie Streets of Fire, which is one of my favorite 80s movies. There's also that song I think a lot of people heard and really got into. Then they saw the video and they were like, wait, he's white? Like, like one of those type of things. But yeah, fun album. It also has a song on here, We Are the Young, which seems like one I haven't heard in a while. When I put it on, I was just like, God, it just took me back a bunch of childhood memories. But great album, great artist. And then I also spun a little La Bamba. I got in the urge to spin that the other day. And again, you guys know that, I'm sure, very well. Another great album from the 80s, the Ritchie Valens story. And then a few CDs. How about a little Terry Clark? This is Fearless. Awesome, beautiful country singer right there. Love her stuff. She actually came out with a greatest hits album recently. It's kind of nice, and I'm probably going to pick that up, but we got it at the shop. We'll just have to kind of see. And then a little Terry Clark. Life Goes On there. Another good one here. Yeah, just again, another great country artist. And a little Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. And this is their greatest hits. Another really cool CD. The one song I think people probably, and I don't actually know if maybe you'll know the song unless you're really kind of into them, but you remember the song Joy and Pain by DJ Rob Bass and Easy Rock. It was kind of a big hip hop hit back in the 90s, or early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. But the song Joy and Pain, it was kind of sampled from that song. But yeah, Maze and Frankie Beverly, fantastic, legendary group. I think they really kind of fall into like the R&B and soul, but they really kind of do something has a little bit of a smooth jazz flavor to it. But yeah, legendary band again, and gave that a spin the other day. Feel the Funk CD I decided to spin the other day. It's a digipack actually. 3 CDs, just kind of a compilation of a bunch of various stuff. And just a really fun listen, just a lot of, I won't go through all the different songs on here. But the fun thing about listening to this is it's just, I don't know how many times you go through each song on here. And it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so sampled that song. So-and-so sampled that song. Like so many things, especially from the early days of hip hop, were sampled from stuff off of this. Because that's where they got a lot of their stuff from, that old school funk. And then last CD, my boy right here, sorry about the glare, Rick Braun. This is Full Stride. Just definitely one of my top 2, I would say easily one of my top 2 favorite sax players in terms of smooth jazz. I'm not talking like traditional and Coltrane and all that type of stuff. But yeah, when it comes to smooth jazz, man, Rick Braun is the man. I absolutely love him to death. He's one of those guys that I think his playing is cooler than he is, and he doesn't know it. Like, he doesn't know how cool he is when he's playing. And it's just one of those things where what's the best way to describe it? It's one of those things kind of musically, just how something hits you. Because like when you listen to him, he's not doing a bunch of, stuff that's just impressive. It's just one of those things where the way he hears melodies and where he takes the next note and, kind of how he does all of that, it's just like, it hits me right, and it's just like, oh, that feels so good. And yeah, I love Rick to death. My favorite song off of this is One Love. I mean, that's just a jam and a half to me. So anyway, that's my boy Rick. And let's dive into the vinyl. And a lot of these I think are some kind of classics that you guys know, so I don't have to talk about them all that much. Little Led Zeppelin 2, gave that a spin the other day. Again, total classic, you guys know all too well. As well as little Billy Joel's Greatest Hits. Spun this last week, I believe. And yeah, again, just kind of one of those fun listens, just one you kind of put on and you sing almost every single song. It's really fantastic. Warrant, Cherry Pie, another classic there. Definitely in my opinion, Warrant's best album. You know, uh, favorite song off of here is probably Uncle Tom's Cabin. Love the storytelling with that. Just kind of a great big rock song. I Saw Red. A lot of great stuff on here. So it's a classic. You can see they're kind of a beautiful OG pressing of that too. Um, Kind of some cool classic rock here. Highway Robbery. Just spun this yesterday when I was at the shop actually. Um, Really cool album from 1972. Just kind of a just a big, it's kind of a big I shouldn't say I guess classic rock's what you would put it in. Just kind of has like a little bit of a grand funk feel. Well, actually, it depends on what song you listen to. If you're not familiar with it though, definitely check it out. I mean, awesome group, awesome album. And every now and then I like to go back to Metallica, the Black Album. It's one we've heard a million times over and so forth, but every now and then you just have to kind of go back and spin it again, and you realize just kind of like how big and heavy the freaking album was, even though it was very melody and radio friendly. Like this is a beast of an album, and to knock it, in my opinion, just doesn't make any sense. So, great legendary album. And this is cool too, because this is on the Vertigo Swirl. That was a Simply Vinyl pressing from 2000, I believe. The 2000 Simply Vinyl pressing, and they did the whole Vertigo Swirl, which is kind of nice. So very cool there. One that pops up on my What's Been Spinning quite frequently, Wild Nothing, Gemini. Love this album. It has like a modern day, this is 2010, but it has like a very modern day synth pop type of feel to it, a very 80s feel. I love the song Summer Holiday. It's just absolutely fantastic. Very weird band though, because every time I see them doing something live, I just want to punch every one of them in the face. For some reason, they just have a look about them that makes my fist go like this. I'm like, what's going on? But no, yeah, fantastic band. Love them to death, and this is definitely my favorite album by them. Little Blue Oyster Cult, Revolution by Night. Again, I think this has been in a couple of What's Been Spinning videos over the years. Again, great album. To me, kind of a lost album from '83 for them. Awesome songs like Take Me Away, Shooting Sharp, just, kind of 80s, but still very big rock. And in the song Take Me Away, like the guitar solo, and there's one of my favorite by BOC. So very cool stuff there. The Eagles, Hell Freezes Over. For those of you that have been kind of following me for a while, you know that I do keep a lot of vinyl sealed. Just because I buy a record and bring it in, I don't have the urge to feel like I have to open it and play it right now. But then whenever I do decide I want to open it and play it, I just kind of do. Like I just trust my gut to be where I want to be in that moment. And this is kind of a great example. I think I got this back in 2019, and I kept it sealed all this time. And the other day I was like, I want to listen to Hell Freezes Over. So I opened it, cleaned it, and gave it a spin, and just as fantastic as ever. And just, one of the absolute great live albums. I'm not a big fan of live albums at all. Matter of fact, in most cases, I tend to not like them. They tend to take away from what I like about a lot of the songs as opposed to adding to it. But Hell Freezes Over is one that, the Eagles just took every one of their songs and in some cases took it to another level with their performance here. So love it to death. And like this one and The Dance are probably my two favorite. The Dance by Fleetwood Mac are probably my two favorite live albums just for that reason. So fantastic listen there. And then a little jazz, Archie Shepp, Mama Too Tight. Another great one here. I guess album's kind of half somewhat traditional, half free jazz type of album, but a legendary one there, and that's always a great spin. And not a very expensive album either, too, so that's one I highly recommend. Little Led Zeppelin 4. So not only did I spin the Black Album, I went to Led Zeppelin. So yeah, I was watching a movie and heard the song When the Levee Breaks, and it made me think, hey, I want to go spin 4, which I probably do about once a year. I'll make my way back to this album. It's like, oh yeah, I remember why that was legendary. And I don't have to hear it again for at least another year. Because obviously it's just one of the most played out albums ever in rock and roll. Another one of my faves that pops up quite frequently, Sammy Hagar, VOA. Love this album. It was kind of my intro to Sammy back in the day. It came out in 1984. And yeah, I mean, of course, I Can't Drive 55. But then you have other great songs like Swept Away, Rock Is In My Blood, and Two Sides of Love. Like, that song is just freaking awesome. Love it. Such just a great, awesome rock and feel good song. So, gotta love Sammy. War, The World Is a Ghetto, another classic. Any solid R&B and funk collection must have this, in my opinion. Just kind of a great songs, great jam session moments. Just, I don't know, just such an amazing feel to this album. You know, Four Corner Room and the Cisco Kid, and just, if you haven't heard this for some reason, that is a must check out. And another one that I just recently opened, I've had this, I think, since like 2017, 2018, and just got around to opening it the other day, cleaned it, and had to give it a spin. But Marvin Gaye Collected, just kind of a nice 2 LP music on vinyl greatest hits by him. You know, everything from his early days with Hitchhike, Pride and Joy and all of that, into, you know, the 70s, like, you know, What's Going On and Let's Get It On, and even kind of going into the 80s with Sexual Healing and all that stuff. So a nice little span of his career. Matter of fact, let me do this just in case anyone wants to know. You can always pause it and take a look. But very cool album. Of course, music on vinyls, great sounding pressing. Little Lenny Kravitz. This is a hits. You know, his new album came out a couple weeks ago, and I, you know, told you I spun that and wasn't very impressed by it. So I had to kind of go back and, you know, regenerate my love for Lenny. So I went back to his greatest hits album. And, again, another fantastic one there, which is all the stuff you would want by Lenny. And another one I think you have to kind of just go back and revisit every now and then. You know, Kiss Alive. Just hadn't spun that in a while and went to check it out. So another great one there. You guys know that one all too well. Tim McGraw, Standing Room Only, one of my favorite country artists, modern day country artists. This is his release from 2023. It's kind of his newest album. Not my absolute favorite by him, but it's still just, it's McGraw. I mean, I love his storytelling, love his vocal delivery, and just another great album there. And in the last few here, the Bungles, The Ace of Plastic. Again, more classic 80s there. You guys know this one all too well. Video Killed the Radio Star, all that great stuff. And Little Bowie. Again, another classic. This is out of the David Bowie box set. Gave that a spin the other day. Again, another one of those albums you guys know all too well. As well as Aha. You know, a little Take on Me. Kind of diving back into that 80s new wave again. Another fantastic album. And this is the new Khruangbin album here on kind of this orangish kind of burst, or whatever you want to call that, vinyl. This is their newest album. Very cool stuff. You know, kind of, you know, mellow, laid back. Not the absolute most exciting album to me by them, but this is definitely one of those mood type of albums. I think kind of the one that you throw in the background when you're doing other stuff and just kind of want, you know, some of that smoothness that they bring to the table with what they do. So, you know, definitely a good pickup, but again, not my favorite out of their catalog, but definitely one that I want to listen to again. And then the Pearl Jam. You know, I've actually had this for a while. I listened to it once when it first came in at the shop, but I hadn't listened to it since I got home with my copy. But yeah, so gave that a spin the other day, and I'm sure you guys are very well versed in that one by now. The Marshall Tucker Band, Greatest Hits. This is just talk about an album that I just love to listen to. Just the feel and the incredible nature of the songs on this album. Like, I never get tired of it. It's just such a mixture of like awesome 70s rock, a little bit of some blues rock in there, a little bit of like southern rock, like the Leonard Skinner thing, like all that just seems to really mix into a lot of the different songs on here. But stuff like you know, Can't You See, Heard It in a Love Song, Fire on the Mountain. I mean, especially Can't You See, it's just such a perfect song. So the Marshall Tucker Band, I listen to this album a lot. Great stuff. And one of the legends, little Hank Mobley, Soul Station, another classic. Just one of the legendary Blue Note trumpet players there. And last but not least, Little Notorious B.I.G., Life After Death. Just one that I was flipping through my stacks the other day and just kind of thought, I have not listened to that one in quite some time. Hypnotize, of course, is on here. More Money, More Problems, Going Back to Cali. Just, and again, another one of those great legendary hip-hop albums there. So anyway, there you go, VC. That's kind of what's been spinning over the past couple weeks in terms of the full albums that I've listened to. As always, let me know what you guys think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.